Hi, welcome to Crossdachorsrailroads Live. How's everybody doing tonight? Can everybody see and hear us? Let us know, please. Okay. Waiting to hear as everything catches up and we get logged in. Well, we're logged in, but it takes a second. Are we good? Mike.
Looks like everybody's good.
Okay.
I don't see the live tab over here, but people are seeing this and responding.
Okay. So everybody's saying it's sounding good, so I'm glad. Let's happy to have everybody here. And we got some trains running. We have 5 different trains running right now. And so those will just be in the background going. And just so I'll go over as we're waiting for people to log in from going live. Let's see, the train I can see right now going up that's crossing the Hellgate right here is led by the TMCC Century 2 Shark Noses, which are some of the best pulling engines I have, and there's 3 of them. Shout out Dad, that was a gift from my dad, shout out there. And they pull better than almost anything I have, and slow and steady, and can just take it. And they're beautiful. They're pulling right there. They're coming on the curve is 2 Lionel Legacy SD70 Aces, the Penn Central Heritage for Norfolk Southern, and the 1854 Tuscan Single Stripe Legacy SD70 Ace Heritage for Norfolk Southern are going there. And we have coming up here that's going to be crossing the Hellgate right now is a New York Central L2 Mohawk, and I got that in one of my first sets I bought, and that's was Lionel's original Empire Builder set, and that thing's a trooper and has worked for years. And I got up top on the mountain our Lionel F3, beautiful Tuscan single stripe F3s. They're the TMCC with Odyssey, but they pull like champs. That's a 5-unit set, and the first 3 units, the A and the 2B units, are powered, and then the 2 dummies. And then coming up here onto the curve is MTH. You'll see it popping out right there. And those are the MTH units. If you're been around on the channel, you know, but that's the George Herbert Walker Bush 4141 leading, the Norfolk Southern Heritage unit for the veterans, SD60, and then just a Norfolk Southern SD70 Ace, and they're all 3 power units, and they're pulling my long cold drag, so they have the heaviest train right now on the layout. And I think I covered all 5 trains, and we need to go through some shout outs, and hopefully everybody's enjoying themselves. So let's see, who was first?
Looks like Train Freak.
Oh, Train Freak. All right, Train Freak. Let me know. Do you want to be a steam whistle, or do you want to be the, or do you want to have a diesel horn? Your choice, since you were first.
Well, I think he stepped away.
Oh, he stepped away. Okay, so Sean's Trains. Your choice.
Well, while we're waiting for him.
Yeah. Oh, well, you're waiting on that, Sean. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
You want me to do the opener?
Yeah, let's do the opener.
All right, we're going to do the opener real quick. We're going to come back, and we're going to welcome all our guests.
Check this out. Well, I was talking about that.
Hi, y'all.
When this goes black, I'll switch it back.
guys, here we are back. Let us know what you thought about that as we're logging on. And here we go. Hey, Sean, shout out. There you go. Welcome, Sean. Welcome on board Crossed Anchors Railroad. Okay, who was next?
We've got Northeast Penn Productions.
Northeast Penn Productions.
Are you doing them?
Yeah.
Okay. We got D. Klinger. Welcome.
D. Klinger in the house.
We got Sam's Railroad Productions.
What's up, Sam? Welcome. What are you, in Wisconsin?
We got
Goodness.
your dad, Robert Harshel.
Hey, what's up there, Daddy-O?
We got Human City.
Human City, all right.
We got M&M Rails.
M&M Rails, all right, welcome.
We got Conrail 8098.
All right, Conrail. Go Big Blue.
We got Bernsey.
All right, Bernsey. Hey, and that's coming out of the PRR legacy. There you go, Bernsey.
We got, I don't know how to say this, Adamus Invicta.
Oh, okay. What up?
We got Nathan the Train Man.
What's up, Nathan the Train Man? Thank you for coming. Welcome aboard.
We got Daylily Gardner.
What's up, Daylily?
Oh, we got your sister and your brother-in-law.
Oh, what's up, Becca and Steve?
We got one.
You got-
Excuse me, go ahead.
Yeah, that's my sister and brother-in-law, and y'all got to check them out. And they got a great channel. Y'all put your channel up there if you guys like hunting and stuff. Steve is a master hunter. He's sick off the hook. We'll show you some stuff. Check them out. And who's next?
We got 1-800-CLYDE. He's
Hello?
an Air Force veteran.
Whoa, what's up, Air Force? Woo woo!
And I think that's everybody that said hello so far.
All right, cool. So if we've missed you, say howdies to make sure we can see you, and we'll do a shout out. But glad to have y'all here on our first live stream as to what's going on. I hope you're having a little fun. And the main topic that I wanted to be able to go over with everybody was, and think of some questions. We'll do a short Q&A at a point. But I wanted to go over my thoughts about MTH and what's going on with MTH. And it's not a 10-second answer and it's all like, oh, they're going out of business. And there's nothing to be had from MTH no more. So, it is a little more involved than that. And I know I've talked to a couple of you out there, but I certainly didn't come about in 1890, kind of when the model railroading industry did. And I don't know everything there is to know. I'm not the biggest train collector. So I had to do some research to help understand this history that exists with MTH and Lionel and the whole history of model railroading. So sit right back. This is going to be a nice journey. It should only take about 6.5 hours to go through the exciting... No, I'm kidding. But there's always been rivalries. These companies are private. All the money... The only reason there's any accurate statistics about money, and that goes back to 2004 on the 99 and 2000 years, is because of the lawsuit that MTH sued Lionel, and MTH testified in court and had to make numbers public for the lawsuit. which they won for some $40 million settlement that put Lionel into bankruptcy, by the way, but which was later overturned on some technicality because Lionel was basically having deeper pockets and sick more lawyers on MTH. But also Mike Wolf at that time, I mean, he had reduced his salary to $35,000 during that time. But anyways, we'll go kind of quick through that in dealing with that. But this is an amazing hobby, and the numbers I'm going to discuss get well into the tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars when you really think about it, because if you get that many lawyers suing that many people over that many years, there's more than $5 involved in the situation, you know. So, but to understand something about MTH, you have to understand something about Mike Wolf. And I don't know what you know about Mike Wolf. He's the owner, he's the founder, and quite an amazing guy in model railroading in general. He helped change the game. But he got his start in 1972, and 1973, and he was 12 years old. And he got hired by Jerry Williams. I might be wrong on his first name. I believe it's Jerry. But Mr. Williams of Williams Trains, who in Columbia, Maryland, was making his model trains in the basement of his house and paying kids $1.50 an hour back in 1973 to put together model trains in Mr. Williams' basement. And that's how Mike Wolf started in the industry, and he's been working in O-gauge model railroading ever since 1973. So this guy's knee-deep in it, and he loves it, and it pumps through his veins more than anybody out there that I can think of, except maybe Joshua Lionel Cowan, but he's long since dead. So this thing goes deep with Mr. Wolf, and it started then. He first got his break in 73 with Mr. Williams at the famous York show, where they sold $150,000 worth of Williams merchandise, and Mike Wolf got his first taste, and rumored that's what they sold worth, and he got 10% of that. Was his cut when in 1976, so what was he? That's what? 3 years later, he was 15, 16 years old, and he got 10% of $150,000 for helping pedal trains at York with Williams. So that whole thing went on, and he started his own model. He was a mail order distributor. It started at his parents' house, and he ran it all right out of there through all the years. And up into the 80s, and Lionel had started and made some contracts with different things produced in Korea, some old tin plate stuff. But that's the time Lionel was owned by General Mills, if you didn't know this. After Lionel went through several horrible bankruptcies and other insanity, and the industry was falling apart in the late 60s because these damn kids don't want to play with trains no more. They're into the slot cars, and they got the video game. They were already blaming video games, the same thing they blame now. So anyways, the industry's still here from the late 60s till now in spite of video games. Only getting better the whole time. But yet, there's some pretty neat toys themselves. So, going through with all that, I digress. And he keeps going. And the first time, he became Lionel's largest mail distributor by the mid-80s. He bought tooling from Williams. At some point, Williams sold him and another counterpart who still works for him, who's, oh wait a minute, taking over part of the business. Ha 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 ha. So, because you got to read a lot of stuff that was put out and different informations and talking with different people in the industry. So Mike then goes through all that, and it gets to the point where Lionel went through their whole conundrum, and General Mills owned them, and they were the MPC era from the 70s into the 80s, and they sucked. They moved manufacturing to Mexico, and it was crap. There was a lot of just horrible stuff being done, and it was run by a cereal company as a for-profit, how Lionel sold off, through all their detriment. Well then, Roger Kahn, I believe I'm saying his name right. Bought the company, I believe, around 86-ish to 88, somewhere in there. He buys the company, becomes the majority. It's a private held company, and just like MTH, they keep their numbers secret. So he's trekking through, and he owns the company, and Mike Wolf's like coming up. Mike Wolf had every aspiration, and anybody who knew him, and people back then were pretty sure he wanted to run Lionel. He wanted to get in that position, and he was for Lionel because everything he was doing was selling Lionel trains. Plus some other people's, but he was a distributor. But like anybody, he loved the Lionel name and all that stuff. And Mike was getting mad with the MPC stuff, and there was no real progression. It was very toy-like, and there was not any scale. So Mike, with tooling from Mr. Williams, and got some stuff together, and he made the GE-8. And had that, did the prototype, mocked it up, had all the stuff from the tooling he had deals with Shimung. I'm saying their name, I'm probably wrong, but that was a manufacturer in South Korea. Had deals with them and blah, blah, blah. It was all lined up, and he went to Lionel and Con and said, here, look at this. It's scale. The proportions are right. It's going to have better electronics. All these things where he would, it wasn't Vision Line today, but he was trying to up the situation and make it a more fun, realistic hobby. And Lionel told him to go pound sand. They didn't want it. Because, why? They weren't trying to do that. So, okay. Well, he went out and decided to, he came up with enough cash and all the stuff he needed, and he produced that damn thing on his own. And he was selling it at a train show, and I read several information from multiple sources that basically said that's where in 1993, by the time he got it produced and went through it all, it was in 93, and it was at a train show that there was a flyer put up on the wall back then. It had a flyer that said MTH is making a GE-8, blah, blah, blah. And right then and there, Mr. Khan snatched up that piece of paper, and multiple sources said he snatched up Mike Wolf. I mean, Mike Wolf was at all sorts of board meetings, all sorts of stuff. He was knee-deep into Lionel and was selling, he was peddling that merchandise like nobody's business. So, he pretty much snatched him right up at that show, and he took away, he asked him, he said, are you making this damn train? And lo and behold, yeah, I'm making it. I offered it to you. You said no. What? Capitalism. And he took his distributorship away from him right then and there. They had to honor legalities, of course, but right then and there, and from multiple sources who were there as witnesses, said that he was nasty about it and took his distributorship from him right then and there over that. Because Lionel has never been a fan of competition, and Lionel went after Ives in the 30s till they bankrupted them and went after American Flyer in the 40s and the 50s. But I digress. There is a pattern of what Lionel does do, but they do make a hell of a product, and they got a name that they have, and nothing bad about them. But you go through, and therein, okay, so they parted ways, and Mike really took off onto his own, and MTH began to challenge the system, as by the time in 1998, he was making more trains, he had a bigger line, he had a bigger percentage of the O-scale market than Lionel. Lionel had $50 million worth of about sales, and MTH was $60 million plus. And, as crazy as it is, but the house he built, Mike Wolf built on the chimney in his house, he had in the bricks put Lionel. So that's how much he did love Lionel, or I'm sure he actually still does. You could never after, it's a lifelong thing. So, all through there, and then to 99, when one of his dealers in the 2000 calls him and said, I just got the new Alleghenies in from, where were they, Lionel, and boy, Mike, they look just like yours. And they knew what tooling was, and he went and inspected, sure enough, blah, blah, blah. Lionel, it was convicted in the South Korean court that Lionel bought off the head designer and somebody else at the Korean Shaman, I got the name somewhere. But the Korean manufacturer, and they were convicted of corporate espionage in South Korea, and they went to prison. Nobody from Lionel. But they had all the stuff entered into evidence, and Mike went there, pushed it all, did the lawsuit, and it was all entered in, and it was found guilty that they committed that, and they actually bought his tool and die. And the master modeler gave the plans to Lionel. And it was just kind of a whole shady thing, and they did. And Lionel, out of it, had to go into bankruptcy because of it, because they were found they had to pay MTH $40+ million, and they were the largest unsecured debt holder of Lionel. And Lionel by then was owned by Kahn had sold out, and Neil Young owned a percentage, and he was help saving Lionel at that time. But a conglomerate from New York came in, an investment group, and they've kind of controlled them ever since. They shifted CEOs, one to go through, and Lionel did their thing throughout all that, and through lawyers, and it went, and they ended up, there was an undisclosed amount settled out of court, and was finally, they sold the car with all the paper, and everybody got a little bit. All through that, though, there were the deals with the Lionel tin plates, all sorts of stuff going on. It's kind of like how the United States and the Soviet Union had a Cold War, but yet the whole time we hated each other and were threatening each other with nuclear weapons. We had joint bases in Antarctica and had joint up in space, but we hated each other down here. So it's kind of that same thing. And it was interesting how they were in bed with each other on this side and then not over here. But anyways, Mike says he's closing the shop. I don't think Mike wants to see MTH fall apart. How could you after that type of history? How could you not want that to go along, right? Find it shocking. I hear a lot of people make their bones about it, like, like they know him and blame his personal life, his relationships, all sorts of stuff. I mean, Mike sold off and gave up a lot trying to hold MTH together and hold Lionel's feet to the fire. And it cost, there was a lot of things. But anyways, after all that, could keep going through details. After all that, he's going to sit there, and then 08, that crunched a lot of stuff with the Great Recession, and that trumped a lot of other companies out, and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so here he goes. Weaver went that way, and a whole bunch. But, and Williams in the early 90s sold out to Bachman, and they're all owned by Sadr, S-A-D-N-E-R, I believe it is, out of Hong Kong, that produces 1.3 million whatever train sets a year, and they produce for Lionel, some MTH, Walters, Athearn, every toy manufacturer, Hornby, all of them. They're some of the biggest left, all in Hong Kong or China now. But he announces, these companies don't have national ad campaigns anymore, and everybody's like, how do you save the industry? And, where's the youth and all the stuff with it, and how to save and get the youth involved, blah, 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 because some of us remember Johnny Cash going, every American boy needs a Lionel train, and then there's those that have no idea. They never seen a commercial on TV for Lionel trains, and I've never seen one for MTH, because they're not cheap, and it's a niche industry anymore. So, in that, the man wrote one bloody letter, and I've never heard MTH discuss so much in my life, and people literally begging it to stay open. Well, that helps. You're identifying a market share, but at the same time, the day after he announces his surprise letter, okay, and I know, and they already have sold a building, and this and that, and we'll get through all that, but, okay, right afterwards, parts and repairs are being spun off with a long-term employee. One of those guys who built trains with him in Williams' basement is taking on parts and repairs and service, is being spun off. Another from Williams is spinning off with the DCS. All that aspect of it on any scale, all that, all the software and all the appropriate information involved in that is all being spun off in that, and there's lots of copyright, lots of stuff. I mean, you thank Mike Wolf, because Mike Wolf held Lionel feet to the fire because they were trying to say TMCC was proprietary. Controlling trains this way was proprietary, period. They were the only people who could do it. That's what their claim was. And MTH got it made open source code. That's why you can control a Lionel train with MTH, but Lionel doesn't like to play backwards. But even now, you can do all the legacy stuff on it. You know, it's like people said, oh, UP sold MTH because they were making their trains. Yeah, and UP sued Lionel, Athearn, Walters, everybody else who made trains too. They sued everybody. But it was the lawsuit, final one with MTH, that Mike Wolf struck the deal where UP allowed all them, their name, and all the heritage railroads they own to be able to be produced and still produced today. It was that lawsuit, and he did that by himself. He also was the first one to get the subways going. There's Matt up there in Buffalo. Shout out, I know you like the MTH subways, buddy. And RJ, I know you like some of that stuff. And those guys, when you're looking at that, he got the MTH stuff going. And now Lionel and Athearn, I think, has it for, I think they do have it for HO, but I'm not going there. But you know why Mike lost it? MTH lost it? Because he put graffiti and sold the MTA subways with graffiti on them. And MTA got offended because he represented the subway that way. And they cut the license and then gave it to Lionel over that. What? Because he made it look real. Now you pay extra for it. Okay. So you're talking, this is close to, even in reported numbers that came out at 2000, you're talking, this is a $100 million a year industry, just O-scale 3 rail. O-scale 3 rail. What? And it's not like the trains have gotten cheaper since then. You know? I don't feel they have. Raise your hand. I don't see anybody raising their hand out there that feels these trains have gotten cheaper. But speaking of that, I'd like to do... I know. But I'd like to do a shout out to Sam's O-gauge trains. He did a brilliant brilliant video on the historical accuracy of Lionel's S2 turbine, and that's a beautiful engine, iconic. But in that, he got me wondering because he showed that it was for sale for $199.95 in 1948, and everybody's going, oh my God, think how cheap that is. You got a locomotive, a tender, a boxcar, a tanker. It was the most advanced train ever, a caboose, a whole thing of track, and Lionel's first electronic control stuff, where you could do the couplers and make all sorts of stuff happen on this medieval-looking big push-button thing, like a calculator. It just didn't have the little arm on the side. But I digress with that. $199.95 in 1948, roughly, is $2,117.16 today. That's like Vision Line. That's Vision Line. Lionel's Legacy, a premier train set right now is only $900 to get 4 or 5 cars with it in a Legacy locomotive diesel. So, this hobby, I don't care even what scale you are, this hobby has never been cheap. In the 20s, when Lionel sold the estate sets they just put out, they sold them for $110 in like 1928. That's like $1,200 today. That's not cheap. So it's never been cheap. So that's why they're still here 120, 130 years later. There's enough of us crazy people that buy them. But I don't think MTH, a lot has been divided. There's a ton of tooling out there that's very unaccounted for when you really dive into model railroading and what it is with it. And the tooling is what's in question right now, but it's not like a steam locomotive looks different. They're the same damn thing. So if you have decent tooling, it'll always be able to be produced. Now, yes, I know, where is it held? But look, we're talking about stuff that goes all the way back before anything went overseas, because every company, Weaver, K-Line, all of them had foreign and domestic toolings. And every time one of those companies was bought and sold, it never all went to one person. It was hacked up. And it's really tough to follow where all the tooling's gone. So there's not like there's no tooling in America. Okay? Companies reshape, resize. He's doing his auction and they're getting rid of stuff, which, I called up there. I got an appointment. I'm going up. I want to see the day before as long as COVID ain't bad. I've already talked to Jerry up there. And that first auction is going to be the main showroom layout and all types of the prototype stuff up at the factory and the significant things of that nature. And that's what will be in the first auction. There's going to be multiple auctions and it's going to be spread out, and they haven't even determined how often they're going to be. It's going to take several weeks, if not months, to go through them all. But I think there's a lot of, rumors going on. I mean, he basically said he wants his long-term loyal employees to take his company. The man's tired. He's been doing this a long damn time. But the fact is, most, small businesses that turn into something can't really ever be sold off because for a company to buy them and still make profit and actually pay off the founder really is impossible. The numbers don't work very well in companies like that. So, but at the same time, you see there's a shifting. He's getting money in different ways. He sold his building, which is probably the single largest asset. I'm sure he's going to get royalties. He's, okay, why not? The man single-handedly drug O-scale trains, O-scale 3-rail, into the future. Because he didn't want a toy-looking thing. And I'm not downing that stuff at all, but he changed the industry. And he gave us this realism. He gave us this where I can have these trains all doing this stuff and I can control it from right here on my iPad, which I think is just totally too cool.
Oh, people were asking if they could see the iPad, what you're running the trains off of.
Oh, sure. Well, I got this one up because I have 5 trains running. I could run everything off of this, but I have another remote pulled up where I had the Line L trains on them. But this here, okay, this is for the engine. That's the Bush Vet set that's going right now. And then down here, this is where I go to do my switches. See where it says switches there? Those are all my switches that I have programmed into the system. There's 54, I believe. And then you go here, and those are all the pre-done routes I have, so I only have to hit like one button. And, when I want to I have 5 different main lines. I have each one main 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there's multiple switches on each one depending, because each one has a either way crossover, and there might be various other things on there. So I hit one button and I might need 6 switches to go a certain way, and it does that. And I don't have to think about it. Each one of my yard tracks is done. Each one of my passenger sidings is done. I hit one and all the appropriate switches throw for that to go. And that's what I run with the MTH, and it works like a champ. I'm not saying I don't have to restart it like any other computer type thing, and I'm not saying, but I'm going to go more into that because there really is MTH when you read it and how it is dragging even Line L stuff. When you're doing the analog into the digital, there's you're making odd things talk to each other, and just like anything else, you have to unplug it, reset it. There's a lot of that involved in it, but I think it's worth it. And here I'm running the Line L LCS Wi-Fi app, Legacy here, to do all my trains. So, see, what's kind of cool is, here, if I hit up here, it sounds different than down there. So, and you get into like the quilling and all that type of stuff, and then I can bounce through all my different lash ups. There's speed control on there, different things. Did anybody? I had my big rant, and that's stuff I had really wanted to say my piece. I think MTH, we know parts and service are carrying on. We know DCS and all the control systems are carrying on. And there's already been new announcements of production since then. And the brand new cab forward Southern Pacifics and all that just came out from MTH are new tooling in a new factory, which didn't start yesterday. So interesting that, there's a lot of just different things in the story, and I think it's a big thing you have to take in. But I do think parts of MTH in its evolving are going to go forward, and I don't think at all they're obsolete. And because if you read what any of the there's no dealers going, "Oh, shame on you, Mike Wolf, and you're screwing me over." I've talked to several dealers, and none of them give the insinuation that, "Oh yeah, it's done. It's crap." They're not even mad, So they all said, "Let's see what happens," and I agree with that. Let's see what happens. I think there's I think I uncoupled the train. Huh. Yeah. I must have hit a button when I was flipping around on the screen. I uncoupled the Mohawk. Where the hell did I uncouple it at? Oh Christ, it almost... Okay, let's go backwards. So, what other questions do we have?
So, Nathan the Train Man is asking, do you have any Lionel post-war?
No, I do not. All my stuff is modern, and I think I only have 2 conventional engines, and they're both Christmas engines. One's the Polar Express sitting up there, and I have another one in a box down there. But I didn't start buying these trains until 2005. And I'm 15 years into this, and I decided then that I really wanted to I like the modern and all that control. So that's where I've concentrated to this point.
Apparently Conrail really wants his question answered. I had already said no comment, but I'll give it up to you and get your thoughts.
Uh-huh.
He asked, what's your thought on the MTH 2020 Trump train?
Okay. I mean, I'm sure it'll be a collector's item.
Alright, moving on. I do think Human City had a decent response, but that's me personally. Oh hey Country Bunkers Trains, welcome. Oh, Northeast Pin Productions is back. Thank you for joining us again. I'm gonna go back up to the top and see if I miss any questions.
Okay. There we go.
Oh, Sean's Train said he's putting more money down on the big boy on Saturday.
All right, sweet Sean, that's awesome. The big boy, huh?
Oh, Tim's Trains has been giving some tidbits of information, which were pretty cool. He said Lionel is owned by an investment firm here, as Mike Wolf is a sole owner of MTH.
Yep.
So that's why Lionel was able to
deeper pockets,
have more lawyers than MTH.
Yep. During the lawsuit, Mike Wolf, at the beginning, when he was at the top of the game there in the late 90s, beating Lionel in sales, was his reported salary, he reported in the lawsuit, was $195,000 a year. And the year after, by 2001, he had reduced his own salary by $35,000 a year, and he had sold off, reported most of his personal train collection to pay to go after Lionel because he felt so personal about it that they had stolen his technology and there was basically almost nothing that could be done.
So Sean's Train says, this is so cool, I'm learning about MTH, not just Lionel.
I mean, the tech is always going to get improved, that's software writing, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, the bang for your buck, on MTH, again, I'm not saying Lionel stuff's not bad, but I went with MTH out of finance stuff going, okay, I have 54 switches. an AIU for MTH to control switches controls 10 switches, and that costs $120 MSRP brand new. Lionel's thing that does 4 switches costs $120. So the cost factor there is gigantic when you get to larger layouts. And the fact that what I really got bought on, though, was that I could use MTH to control my Lionel trains. And I thought that was quite nifty. And as I read in, it was the first time learning about how the software was and made it a open source code. Kind of like DCC's traded as an open source code. But don't get me wrong, MTH has a lot of proprietary information too, but that is business. And because of, I mean, clearly, there's a couple dollars involved in O-Scale 3-Rail. Because it's kept some lawyers very happy. And investment bankers don't hold on to things that don't make money. That's like their sole purpose. So, I mean, there's a future here. And I think what we have is a more of a reorganization for the 21st century and streamlining and getting rid of maybe old product that's sitting around not selling that drags you down and all sorts of stuff. There's lots of companies that do a shimmy and a shake, and he's just not going through a bankruptcy. You know? So he's doing something else, but he's drummed up more stuff than an ad campaign that he could afford to pay for. That he's got more buzz now and more press, because what do they say? There's no such thing as bad publicity, right? And everybody's loving it. Oh, MTH, you made the hobby. You know, you read online. Who's next?
So, Eminem Rails asked what kind of traditional room are you in?
Traditional room?
Yeah, he said, are you in a basement, attic?
Oh, an attic. This is an attic. Our house was built in 1915. So that's why you see the dormers. There's 4 of them, but, well, that's not why. But that took years once I got the house, because this whole place was like, you could see daylight and stuff, and it was like creaky and stuff. So all this, you know, it took time, and even the room had to be finished up, and, you know, everything had to be insulated, and the lights and AC and everything like that had to be put in. So we're up here in the attic.
Sean's Trains asked if you'd seen any cheap O-Gauge 2, Tax 6, Tax 0. Did I read that right?
Oh, 10-wheelers. I mean, what does he mean? Command control? I mean, isn't that the new Lionel stuff for 10-wheelers? Those are sick. Those are like really great prices for $800 for that 10-wheeler in Lionel's new catalog. Those are pretty cool. Oh, and here's a new shirt, part of our new merch. Can you read the back?
It says, see you down the line. Yeah, you can.
So you guys got to go to our Teespring. That's up on the thing, I think, up here. On the banner above on the page. Go to our Teespring, and we have a ton of different kind of merch for you guys to look at. All sorts of different things. We got COVID masks, so you can get those. There's a couple different ways you can pick them. Everything's got a couple different colors. Huge array of sizes. Go check it out. There's mugs. Don't we have a pillow?
Yeah, we have a pillow too.
Yeah, Mike's doing all that stuff. He's much more creative than I.
So, Brian Burns asked if you can take the K4 for a spin.
Oh, the K4 for a spin. Uh-oh.
We might have to do that in a separate video.
Yeah. I had a derailment up on the mountain.
Human City. Is Brian wearing an LAV? I don't know what that is. We can hear him a lot better than we can hear you. Oh, it's this mic we have right here. It's actually designed to actually get him better because he's actually facing it. So I'm sure you can hear me better now that I'm talking into it. But
I guess we could set it back further.
It's all right. You're the one talking. I'm just sitting here looking good.
Yeah, I'll get that K4 out, Burnsy. Well, I don't think tonight. Well, what time is it? Yeah, we've been doing this a little bit.
Yeah, we've almost gone
Yeah, and I don't know. We can't move that camera right now,
45
right?
minutes. No, we can't move the camera
Yeah.
at the moment.
So yeah.
So we'll do that on another stream. Maybe we can do something else and figure that out. Sean's Train said if you can find any, please let me know on Discord. True, change is not a bad thing.
But I mean,
Northeast Pin Productions. Lionel's more expensive than MTH in my opinion. Do you think so?
Well, of course. I mean, just dollar for dollar bears that out. I mean, brand new engine, Lionel always runs a couple dollars more. It's kind of like Android versus Apple. They both do the same thing, but Apple's much more proprietary and and Android plays with everybody. And that's kind of like, I would equate that in some quick ways, the same thing. But they're definitely, I'm going to keep buying MTH. I mean, you guys just saw, I just got that veteran unit in the last couple months, and the 4141, and I ain't buying no MTH. I'm not.
So, Country Bunker Strain says you can't beat MTH, bang for the buck.
I agree.
Your sister said she's got to go.
Yeah.
She enjoyed. D. Klinger, most of my stuff is Lionel, but I have a few MTH cars, and I'm hoping to get DCS and some MTH Premiers engines for Christmas for my birthday. 716 Rail Fan said hey.
Oh, what's up, dude? Your Altoona stuff was sick. Loved it.
Conrail says I got an MTH 1225 Steam Freight set for free, no money.
Good Lord. That's nice. Big Blue, my dad has that one. He's got a bunch of. I remember the first time I bought that 86-foot box car down at Lionel at the first warehouse sale Lionel ever had down there in North Carolina, and my dad and I went, and I picked that car up, and my father said it was obnoxious. It was so big. Now he's got like a string of them damn things.
Sean's Train says he loves the new shirt.
Awesome.
Human City asked for us to put a link in the description, so remind me to do that after this, and we'll put the link.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Oh, Human City says LAV is a lavalier microphone. I guess that's one that like puts on.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Oh, Ken Muniz says, hey, we're on this time from Southern California.
Sweet. What's up, Southern California? There we go. Stem to stern.
There you go. Country Bumpkins Train says, my dealer can't keep MTH products on the shelf since the announcement. Myself including, having y'all been buying the MTH goodies while you can?
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be hard to find stuff in the future.
I mean, I think there's a lot of MTH stuff, and I think people will be buying it, and I think there'll be more being produced. I don't think it's going to go away.
Human City asks if you were always an O-gauge model railroader.
I mean, the first electric trains I ever ran were my dad's post-war O-gauge trains down in the basement, and with the old ZW going like this, and he had a black Erie NW2 switcher. That was his first engine. He had, I think it was an SD40, SD45 chassis system with the big pussycat on it. And
you can ask him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was, but he can say. The SD2 turbine with 3 Pennsylvania passenger cars, and the general set with the horse car and the 2 yellow coaches. And that was definitely, probably where I got my first little engine, my Oshkosh Bigoshes. That was probably my first pair of Oshkosh Bigosh things I had when the railroad thing. And I bet you my dad's laughing right now. And, yeah, that's where I started, and we did some, so yeah, definitely. It was something I don't know what it was, but I messed in HO for a bit. I hooked the truck battery up to be able to make my HO layout go, and just put some rheostats on it from Ace Hardware, and was able to do that because I didn't want to have to hear about the electricity I used.
So, 716 said, hey, thanks, I enjoyed the trip. Northeast Pin Production says, my next buy will be the PRR S2 Turbine MTH.
Oh, nice. The scale one? Are you doing, which one are you doing?
Human City. He said, Brian moved the chair. Is he about to dance? Why don't you do a little jig? There you go. He looks like Elon Musk. I don't know if you saw it, but he did a silly dance at one of his car premieres. That he was like sitting there like this.
Hey, for those of us that didn't see that, it's more like the Last Boy Scout at the end of it when he danced the jig in the light. If you remember the Last Boy Scout.
Yeah, I know.
See.
Conrail said, had a connected battery, but easy fix. Oh, Vincent Von... I'm not going to mess that up. It says, hey, hello, Cross Anchors.
What's up, my Navy brother? What's up? Our Navy brother. We're all Navy vets.
Whoop.
Go Navy.
Says you're going to fix the derailment. Did you have a derailment or was it just an uncoupling?
No, it was an uncoupling and then the F3s hit into the back and popped the caboose and nothing, like, it's not a catastrophe, so I wasn't going to go over there to overly sweat with it at the moment.
Sean Strain said he's going to finally run some trains after a hard week of band.
Band camp. One time at band camp.
Hey, you were a band geek.
I was a band geek for many, many years. Loved it. There was nothing like band camp. That stuff was awesome, man. We worked the competitions, all sorts of stuff. Band's awesome, man.
Your dad said, I got to charge my phone. The show was great. Love you both. Daylily
Love you too, Dad.
Any problems with Fast Track?
No, because I guess I take care of my Fast Track. I hear about problems people say with Fast Track, and when I see videos or whatnot of a lot of people's layouts, I see stuff that's been manhandled, beat up. Like any track, is the more you take it apart, put it together, take it apart, put it together, take it apart, put it together, you keep loosening connection points, and that's anything in electricity. Have a nice day. I find I don't even get a lot of corrosion or anything on my rails because it's in a climate-controlled space. So I only run my cleaning car occasionally. You know, I don't get a lot of black carbon buildup even on it. I use little sandpaper pads to go over any spots that seem to be a little bothersome, but no, I really don't. Ooh, I had another uncoupling.
Oh, you did? Human City says, I love my Oshkosh overalls. Tim's Trains. I have about a half a dozen MTH engines with PS2 and PS3. I like them all a lot. The only reasons why I have them are because either Lionel didn't make them or I liked MTH versions look over Lionel.
And I tell you what, Tim, spot on with that. But more importantly, I want a caveat on that, along with exactly what you were saying, is because MTH introduced a different variety than ever was going on before with round names and going to obscure engines and taking the stuff and just spreading it out that way, because Lionel wasn't famous for doing any small railroads, short lines, unique runs. MTH opened all that stuff up, and it's just, you know, they don't get the props a lot for that because of just the sheer name of Lionel, but that's one thing I wanted to get out there, was how much MTH affected this hobby in his 40, 50 years of it. Half the time it's been here.
Northeast Pin Production said he's doing the semi-scale PRR S2 turbine MTH.
Nice. Oh, we saw that they had that up there at Tiny Tim's. They had the semi-scale MTH S2 turbine up there.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
I believe you. Your dad said, yes, I'm laughing. 716, he says, with all the first responder rolling stock you own, do you own the training first responders GP38 TAC 2?
No, and the only first responder stuff I have are those tankers. I want to get more of it, and actually there's some first responder stuff on sale that I've spotted that I want to consider getting. And no, I'm not going to tell you where I saw it on sale because it's a good price, and I don't think there's a lot of them left.
That's funny. Conrail says, have you thought about getting the MTH NS 911 tank car with smoke?
No, I hadn't. I'm not opposed to it. I think that would be neat. God, they make a lot of stuff. I remember when I started getting back into this in 2005, I said, I think we're going to make a list and try to get one of everything. Oh my God. I never realized when I got back into it how much there was.
It's a long list.
It never ended.
Sean's train says that I say if you take care of the track, it will work.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have over 1,200 feet of fast track. I have over 54 switches, and I see problems with people's tracks that have Cargraves and Ross. I'm not saying that fast track's better. I'm just saying I don't have... I think if you take care of anything, I like their switches better, honestly. I don't have problem. I'm not saying I never broke a switch or something.
So,
but
Ken
yeah.
Nunez says I have several hundred feet of fast track on the floor. It works great. Eric Lee says hi. He says, so you're saying that Lionel would not make a Green Bay and Western engine ever?
I mean, they not a while ago. You know, Lionel didn't try to do variety and all that stuff. They sold in very particular ways and weren't interested in it. MTH opened a lot of that up, and Lionel does more of that now.
716 says, cool, can't wait to see more of that.
More of what?
Oh, you had talked about the first responder stuff.
Oh, yeah.
A moment ago.
Yeah. They got a cool Dash 8. MTH Premier Dash 8 first responder I like.
Eric Lee says he's playing the train sim right now. Human City. The only tools I would use for installing track are a hammer and a circular saw. That seems a little overkill, you know.
I like my screwdriver. It's easy when I was making all my adjustments and everything like that. That's one thing I liked about it, because this didn't start this way, and it kept growing and changing and adding on. And goodness, you know. And thank God I had the power drill.
Oh, look at this. Human City's trying to spend all their money again. He goes, you need to get 3 of everything. 1 to play with, 1 for the collection, and 1 to sell when the price goes up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Human City.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go with that. I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem.
Tim Trains, if MTH was never around, a New York Central A2 Berkshire probably would not have been made in diecast, but MTH took the opportunity to make something new like the A2 Berk. Yeah. I'm lucky to have one.
Yes. And not trying to say Lionel's a bad company. I own plenty of Lionel. I probably own more Lionel than MTH. And Tim's spot on with that, what he's saying with the uniqueness of them. And MTH was willing to think out of the box much more aptly than Lionel has been.
Sam's Railroad Productions is back.
What's up, Sam?
716 Rail fan says, oh, nice. Conrail says that was funny seeing the turbine pushing the train.
Yeah.
Michelle Tono says, what a list that is. What is your next purchase?
What a list?
Oh, she's talking about the list of all the things, I guess.
I don't know. It depends which one gets a better sale price first.
Conrail said, sent you a link to it. Oh, okay, on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
That's right. We have Facebook and Instagram. That's about it. But hey, follow us. O-Gauge and N-Scale Railroad says, hey guys. You're distracted.
N-Scale.
O-Gauge and N-Scale Railroad.
What's up? How you doing? Welcome aboard. Crossedanchorsrailroads recruits.
Recruits. Human City says 19/14. I don't know what that means.
19/14.
Okay. Human City again. How many times did Lionel go bankrupt or change hands since MTH was in the business?
Oh, since MTH was in the business?
Yeah.
Because first when he started, he was MTH, Mike's Train House, as the mail order business. Then after that, in the early 90s, he changed it when he began producing stuff. It changed it to not Mike's Train House anymore. It changed to MTH Electric Trains. Became the new name of the business. But but even since MTH was in business in the late 70s, when he started that, there's at least, because General Mills.
OBS reconnection successful. Okay, so we can drop for a second.
Okay. Stay with us if you hear me. Stay with us.
Oh, yeah, we're moving again.
Okay.
All right, so I don't see chat yet.
Okay.
We'll move on with these questions that we have available, though.
Sure.
Daylily Gardner, does your insurance agent understand and believe how much they are insuring as a toy hobby? LOL.
Yes. Now, here's the thing with the insurance, because this is not collectibles. You have to explain this to your insurance agent, This isn't like you're buying something from 1920 and they can't make any more of them. These are all modern trains, so they don't have to be insured on the same thing and are covered at different lengths. And then that's all based on your own homeowner's insurance and how that policy works. But you have to talk to them about what they are, and you have to have it well documented, and it's easier to deal with when it's not a fine collectible like the only one from 1920. These are modern things that can go out and be replaced. Some aren't. But you have to work through it, and you have to get to the finite details dealing with the insurance stuff with it. But and then homeowners get so involved after that, but there are ways to deal with that and to look at it.
So Sean Strain says, I'm hoping for my derailment with my 611 a week ago. I didn't break something on it. Almost every wheel was off the track.
Well, I doubt you broke something on it. I mean,
I hope you got that on camera.
Yeah, right?
Human City says the 19/14 was 19 watching and 14 thumbs up, so you can see your stats on replay.
Oh, okay, cool.
So thank you, Human
Thanks.
City.
Thanks.
716 says, thinking of getting back into my layout soon. I'm trying for this year and to start with DCC and HO. However, with all this rail fanning I have been doing while learning dispatcher jargon.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. I can't wait. Can't wait. Hope to see it. I love your rail fanning videos, dude. They're awesome. Keep them coming.
Oh, we just got back on the chat. Let me catch back. Yeah, we had lost chat for a second.
Okay.
I'm pulling back up to the top.
Hey, but I'm glad you guys were willing to hang out with us. And what?
O-Gauge and N-Scale Railroad says, recruits, when do I make private or corporal? Well, we're a Navy channel, so you're going to make seaman first.
Yeah.
And then you'll make petty officer.
Yeah.
So you got to work your way up.
It'll be a Patreon thing, I guess.
Patreon. They said, welcome back. It's back. Welcome back, Larry. Hear you loud and clear. We see
But
you.
yeah, I'm glad you guys. We're happy you guys are willing to hang out, and this was like our first jaunt into this, and we're going to try to be expanding with some cameras and working on that to be able to see some different things and different aspects of the layout and be able to do maneuvering and want to get more into that type of stuff and being able to pull trains out and different things like that.
716 says, anyways, got some good news. My favorite childhood depot is being restored and my favorite train show is happening this year.
Oh, wow. What? That's awesome with the depot. What depot's that and what train show?
D. Klinger asked Human City if he has Discord,
Oh, okay.
which he responded no. Conrail asked, do we have Discord?
Yes, we have a Discord. Can you put the link up in there?
Yeah, I'll put the link up into the
Well, it's on most of our descriptions.
Yeah, our Discord is underneath all our descriptions, but I'll put it underneath this one as well, so it's easier to find.
Sure.
Human City says, for future streams, are you thinking about setting up other cameras so we can see the trains running?
Yes. That's the eventual goal, to see how that all works and like see the west side of the layout, the east side of the layout, the city, different stuff like that.
We actually were trying to get a longer cord because we're sitting at our computer that we had just built, which we'll have the video out here in a while. It was a long video building it, so we're trying to do some editing and make it look right before we push it out. But then over there, we're going to have a cord that can go over there so we can actually move it around and see the layout. I hope y'all can hear me. Brian, Conrad keeps saying it's me, Austin.
That's awesome. I'm glad you're here, Austin. I'm happy to see you.
Human City, congrats on the 193 subs. Getting real close to 200.
Yeah, I guess we are. You know what? Thank you to everybody who supported us to tell us that you're enjoying our content and what we're doing. We've been working hard at it, and we're thrilled having that many subs. I mean, we're thrilled that we have over 6,500 views now, and since we've been really putting out stuff in just the end of June. So we're trying to come up with some stuff. We have some new ideas we're talking about. I know on the Discord I've been asking some of the guys for ideas and stuff y'all want to see on that, and please keep communicating with us. And we have some ideas where we want to try to get more interactive and want to see how we can get the tech working with that, and to have different guests. Of course, it always ends up being a new guest, so different stuff.
D. Klinger says he's in our Discord and GFW's mainline server.
Yeah, and I tell you what, no, shout out to GFW with all the stuff that they've done with when COVID started and them really pushing this running train stuff. And there's so many of us on here, I think, that were stemmed from that. Not that getting online, but a lot of the community-based stuff really stemmed. They started, George started that Discord, and piggybacking off of that. But they have an amazing channel, and if you're here now or in the future and you haven't seen GFW Trains, go check them out. They're in our description. They're in our featured channels, just like a couple of you guys are in our featured channels. And we're here to support the hobby and want to have this hobby succeed. I mean, we're partial to O-scale 3-rail, but model trains are the world's greatest hobby, and it's so cool. And that trains are as varied as people. Model trains come in as many different shapes and sizes and colors that people do, and all sorts of things. It's so awesome. It's an amazing hobby.
716 said Orchard Park Train Depot and ex-B&O Depot. My uncle actually helped restore it.
That's awesome.
And the train show is the famous Buffalo Central Terminal train station. I'm thinking on getting a RR sign.
Nice. That's awesome.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, take a picture of that. We want to see that, man, if you get that.
Sean's Train says, I saw my first responders would look beautiful with a veteran's SD60E.
Yeah, right. That's why I'm eyeing that first responder.
Jugshot said, sad to see MTH closing their doors. They have a lot of SEC stuff that most companies don't make.
Again, I think there's more of a restructuring than a closing going on, and I don't think we're going to be with them in the industry. and I think they're still going to carry on a lot of stuff, and they're going to
FEC, excuse me.
FEC, Florida East Coast.
There you go.
Yeah, the SEC. That was the that's the.
yeah. Daylily says Ashland is neat with the train down the street. Hey, that rhymed.
Yeah. Have you been down to Ashland?
Oh, it's so cool up there, and
But the Daylily.
Huh?
I was asking Daylily.
Oh yeah.
Have you been to Ashland? Because that's a great place. Go on, Mike. What you were saying? How cool
Suzanne
it was.
and wow.
Russell.
They're so nice in there.
Yeah.
I just love that store. And
You can have. Yeah, go ahead.
It was so cool to see that that mural on the side and the trains running through the whole time. We got so distracted. It was such a good time.
I mean, it's a great day because it's just not the store and the trains out there. You can go spend an afternoon and not even realize you spent an afternoon.
Oh, and there's a bar next door you can hang out after buying your trains.
Yeah, there's bars and restaurants right there. It's Randolph-Macon College is right there in Ashland as well.
Kim Muniz says, I'd love to see your power distribution system and equipment and how you decided what to use. That'd be a good video to make.
It will, yeah. Our power is simple. This layout is powered by 8 Lionel 180 watt bricks, 8 of them. There's one for each of the 5 main lines. One controls the engine area, one powers the yard area, and one powers the passenger area. And there's 2 TIUs, 2 WIUs. TIUs are track interface units on the MTH DCS. You can say it all in acronyms like the military. On the MTH DCS, TIU, WIU, AIU.
D. Klinger said, I started my channel because of GFW and my parents wouldn't let me have a channel until they saw one of George's streams.
There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Human City says, I've been watching your stats on Social Blade. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
And you've been growing really quickly. Thank you, man.
Thanks. Human City, you're awesome, brother, man. After COVID, you got to come down.
Yeah, we've given us some great advice.
Yeah. We
appreciate it.
You got to come down and hang out.
We've been watching your videos, and I'm going to really need your help on some things. Well, I'll get into that another time.
Yeah, his videos are cool. Anybody that hasn't seen Human City, go check out some of his videos. His scenery tutorials he's doing are just amazing as he's learning, and he's explained it better than the best guys selling DVDs and stuff like that doing it. It's just, I relate well to it, so guys, check him out. He's amazing. He has some really great videos. The way he does it, presents his information is really awesome.
Yeah, it is really cool. 716, haha, reminded me at the Horseshoe Curve gift shop, got a nice haul, got an NS water bottle, Conrail shirt hat, Horseshoe Curve hat, and a PRR shirt.
PRR in the house! Gotta love that PRR, standard of the world.
D. Klinger says he stopped at 42 subs, which is what I'm at now. Been there for 2 weeks. Hoping to get 100 by the end of the year. I'm sure you got this. As long as you keep making videos and trying, you're going to succeed. I promise you that.
Gotta make content, and you gotta put it out.
Daylily's in Phoenix, so she hasn't been to Ashland.
Oh, okay. Ashland's a great little town in Phoenix.
Oh, Jugshot says he's only an hour and a half from Ashland. Where are you at, Jugshot?
Yeah, you north of there, south of there, east of there, west of there? He's going to say he's in Franklin.
D. Klinger says, I'm going to the Curve next week.
Oh, sweet, dude. Horseshoe Curve. If you guys haven't seen Horseshoe Curve, I mean, you talk about that's like the 8th engineering wonder of the world. And that was built in the 1870s, I believe. One of you PRR freaks, you can help verify that. I believe it's the 1870s, 1880s. And I mean, it literally is shaped like a horseshoe, and it's just nothing. It's gigantic, and on a scale like woo.
Well, hopefully, D. Klinger can show us a video of it. That'd be really cool for your channel.
Well, 716, just was there, and he did some great shots up there too.
Oh, I mean, I saw that.
It's just there's no, but you know what? All the cameras in the world don't do it justice. to stand there and turn around and see it. When you look out over it where it's open onto Pennsylvania is redonkulous.
D. Klinger asks if they have any Weaver O-scale curved boxcars. I'm assuming he's talking about Ashland
Weaver
and Tiny Tim's.
Yeah, Weaver O-scale what?
O-scale curved boxcar.
What's a curved boxcar? I don't know what that is. But
Yeah,
they had a couple Weaver pieces in there.
Sean's Train said you should host a Zoom call and just talk trains. That's an idea. We'll have to consider that.
Yeah, it's a lot of that stuff we're trying to consider with how to put the tech together and to get it work most efficiently.
Eric Lee says, what about a video on your loco roster?
Yeah, that's something I have definitely considered, and we'll be doing that.
Human City says, let me know how I can help anytime. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Oh, jug shots in Nova.
Where?
Northern Virginia.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, we're over by like Virginia Beach area, Hampton Road, Suffolk, that kind of that area.
Tidewater.
Yeah, so if y'all are in our area, hit us up. We'll have to like meet up at Tiny Tim's or Dale's train station in Norfolk. There's a couple places to relax and hang out. We can maybe do a tour of the layout or something. 716 had to support PRR. They ran through our town and near my house, which is now the short line Buffalo and Pittsburgh.
Sweet.
Eric Lee says, I have a HO scale Broadway limited imports PRR Alco High Hood RSD 15.
Oh, those are nice. I know exactly what you're talking about, dude. Beautiful engines.
Railfan says February 15th, 1854. That's when it was built. Oh, he's talking about the curve.
Yeah, 1854. Okay. So it was even older.
Kim Muniz says, thank you. My layout will likely get as large as yours, but on the floor, so wiring and equipment choices are challenging. Why are you choosing to do it on the floor?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity. Sean's Train says he's got his test layout running. That's cool.
Oh, so yeah, your table. I haven't seen. Remember we saw his new addition he was building, and had the wood out, and I haven't seen any new pics off of that. So we're interested in seeing how that's going, Sean. You should shoot some pics out on the Discord to show some of that progress.
Daylily says PGA's Train Fanatic has a horse curve on his layout.
Yes, Pittsburgh Industrial Railroad, Nick. That's another great guy. I don't personally know him, but I know his channel. I've watched him for years, and yeah, he's a really great modeler, and I love a lot of his stuff. His horseshoe curve room is really awesome in there. His mountains are really awesome.
Jugshot says I used to go to the MB Klein before they closed their retail store.
MB Klein?
I've never heard of that.
Is it the Incline?
No, I think he's talking about a store in Northern Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Sean Strain says I also used to go to Virginia Beach for vacation due to my dad who served in the Navy on a cruiser.
Sweet! I was on a cruiser.
Hey, and I work on them now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Aegis, he was on a cruiser. That's interesting.
Yeah,
That'd be funny if I know your dad.
716 Railfan. I'm gonna start working on my Maryland footage as well. I actually got to visit West Virginia and Virginia as well. It was awesome.
Oh, that's cool. You saw a mess of CSX up in there. All sorts of CSX.
Philly Rail says, "Hey everyone, sorry I'm late to the party."
What's up, Philly Rail? Glad to have you aboard one of Crossed Anchors recruits.
I like that. That's kind of cool. And we've caught up to the chat. So if anybody has any other questions.
Well, if you're a recruit, you got to get a team shirt. And then you got to post pictures of you wearing a team shirt, man. Or mask.
For anybody who hasn't seen it, show the back.
Yeah. This is one of the new ones. We have more stuff coming. And we were going to...
See you down the line. We'll put a link up in the description for y'all to check it out if you want.
And how many different T-shirts are there to pick from? 4?
4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
I have to check.
Mugs, pillows, mask for COVID, with the crossed anchor symbol on it. Actually, looks pretty bad. Exclamation! I don't know. Am I allowed to say that? Probably.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to curse. It's okay.
Well, yeah. They look pretty badass.
So you decided to curse.
And with the crossed anchors and one, and then we got I got some stuff you got to look at it with that says PRR Freak Flag Fly for T-shirts and on masks and stuff. That's pretty awesome, I thought.
Eric Lee says the National Railroad Museum has the PRR Aero Train. It's the coolest item in their collection.
Yeah, those are awesome. Those Aero trains, those were made by GE or GM. One of the G's made them, but not General Mills. They don't line out. General Motors or General Electric.
Jugshot says MD Klein is in Cockeyesville. I've never heard of that, honestly.
Yeah.
They run the Model Train Stuff online store.
Model Train? Oh, Model Train Stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I bought from them.
Oh,
okay.
Cockeyes, Maryland. Cockeyesville, Maryland.
Okay. All right. Sweet. Okay, now well, not geographically, but I'm connecting with Model Train Stuff. Okay.
Sean Strain says, well, he was on Cape Street, George's number 71.
What?
I think he's talking about the cruiser. He was on the Cape. Oh, St. George? Maybe
Cape St. George. Okay,
Cape
St. George. Okay,
My bad.
CG 671.
Yeah,
okay.
CG 671. My bad, I misread that.
Yeah. 71, yeah. I was on 61, the Monterey.
All right.
So, nope, I don't know your dad. Well, I could still know your dad if he was in Norfolk. There was only...
Either way, go Navy.
Yeah.
716 said, Shenandoah, but I also got some Hagerstown district action. One engineer gave me a horn show on the bridge before he even saw me at Shenandoah. It was crazy. He was waving at me. Hey, actually, I'm from Winchester, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, man, I remember, like, getting Conrad. I remember seeing some dirty old rusty Penn Central going where I grew up. Because where I grew up in Pennsylvania and Latrobe is the east-west main lines of the PRR, which are now Norfolk Southerns. It was the connection east-west, and there were 4 main lines back in the day, and it was something to watch them go through there.
Ken Muniz says, we have no basement in California. I've got a big-ass single-story house with room and no wife to tell me no.
Awesome.
One big rail hangout.
That's really awesome, dude.
That's cool.
You got pics? You got a YouTube and stuff?
Maybe you can push some pics on Discord.
Yeah, go on Discord. Put some pics so we can see.
Eric Lee says, does a shirt that has the PRR Aero Train count?
Sure.
I think he's talking about the recruit shirt.
Oh.
I mean, PRR always has to count, though.
Yeah, PRR always counts. Let your PRR freak flag fly.
716 and Eric Lee said GM. I don't know what that is.
Oh, GM. General Motors made the Aero Train.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Northeast Pin says he's back.
Sweet.
Welcome back.
What's Sam doing? Sam Train Productions.
Human City says I have to head out. I sent you a link. Have a great chat. Thanks for joining us, Human.
Thank you.
That was cool.
Where humans meet the city. Thank you. D.
Klinger, my scenery skills suck. I've messed up my grass so many times because of my stupid homemade scenery cement. Well, show us some pics, Klinger. Maybe we can help you out. We haven't started ours, but I've been watching a bunch of videos. So.
But homemade, you gotta wonder about.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you mean by homemade?
Maybe paint it or something. I don't know. We'll get back to that though. Show us some pictures. Oop. 716. I also got to go to Cumberland. Caught one train. Was looking for some QO 115 or QO 15 out of Cumberland. I also got to see the turntable.
Oh wow! Did you get pics? I hope you did. But hey guys, we've been on 2 hours and we have an early morning. thank you so much. This is something we're going to be setting up and doing and trying to bring different aspects of the layout in. And we like having this conversation, and we want to be doing that. And we're going to be letting this grow as it does. And thank you for your support. And it's great to see everybody on here. Shout outs. So guys, we're going to be signing off. Thank you so much. And we're going to be doing this at least weekly and stepping up. If we're going to get an audience, we're going to do it and hang out and have some fun with trains.
Thanks everybody for joining, and we're going to leave you with the opener so everybody that missed it the first time can check it out, and we will see you next time.
See you around the roundhouse. Peace.
Hi, y'all.
That's it? I mean, that's pretty good.
Alright, start that again.
Nobody freaked out, man.
Oh no, everybody's having good.
There seemed to be a lot of interaction. Did they seem to like my MTH talk?
Yeah.